But the key point here, I think, is that the decision that the two governments are set to make on the location of the Welsh Freeport sits right at the heart of the debate about what a future British economy will look like, and indeed the level of ambition that this government has for Britain in the world going forward. And it's clear that by backing the Celtic Freeport bid, both governments would be sending a very clear signal that rather than looking backwards or simply managing decline by seeking to make up a bit of missing post-Brexit trade here or restoring a bit of pre-COVID demand there, Britain is truly ready to become a world leader in the green industries of the future. Because the Celtic Freeport, situated in the ports of Talbot and Milford Haven, would bring with it the initial business rates exemptions, capital investment exemptions and seed funding that would in turn help drive £5.5 billion of inward investment into the local economy. But perhaps even more importantly than that, Mr. Vickers, a potential £54 billion into the new industry of floating offshore wind through the £54 billion supply chain that has been estimated for this vital new renewable technology. Because the Celtic Freeport would sit at the heart of the emerging green ecosystem in South Wales that is set to play a central part in providing the green, competitive and secure energy supply that our country is crying out for. So just as South Wales was the cradle of the first industrial revolution, we can now be the cradle of the green industrial revolution. The Celtic Freeport can help drive forward green technology that can power our domestic, sovereign and sustainable energy supply, drive down household energy bills, support green steelmaking, and of course create up to 16,000 new local jobs. Because the new technology that will sit at the heart of this green manufacturing revolution will be floating offshore wind, or FLOW, as it is sometimes called. The UK has led the world on the mass deployment of offshore wind power generation. Across nearly 50 sites, offshore wind currently contributes about 13% to the UK electricity mix. No one country, even giants like China, can touch our footprint. So undoubtedly, we have a lot to be proud of in terms of offshore wind. Therefore, this new technology of floating offshore turbines is an opportunity that Britain can ill afford to let pass by, because if we do, we will risk falling behind. Floating offshore wind sees wind turbines attached to floating platforms that are secured by mooring lines and anchored to the seabed to keep them in place. This modern science uses the same technology as wind turbines that are fixed to the seabed to generate electricity, but they can be installed in deeper areas of the sea, which frequently have higher wind harvesting potential. This modern manufacturing renaissance, which will bring a £54 billion supply chain at the heart of Wales's new economy, could drive forward a green ecosystem of sustainable growth and good jobs across Aberavon, across Wales, and indeed across the entire United Kingdom for future generations. So whether you're looking to become a welder, an electrician, a data specialist, or a marine surveyor, floating offshore wind will create thousands of high-quality, high-skilled jobs right on our doorstep. The Celtic Freeport Bid is about prosperity, but it's also about pride. It is, of course, about prosperity for our economy and for our people, but it's also about pride in our country and our communities, so that we can once again be leading the world in tackling the major global challenge of the 21st century, namely climate change. And it's about pride for our local communities that their work will be contributing to this national and global mission. This new green ecosystem can also play a critical role in strengthening the backbone of our national economy. The COVID pandemic and Putin's barbaric invasion of Ukraine has turbocharged the need to build resilience into our supply chains. Because floating offshore wind in the Celtic Sea will be able to generate 24 gigawatts of clean, green, renewable energy by 2045. And that's, of course, an enormous 1/4 of the UK's total target. But to generate this amount of energy, we will need to build and deploy over 60 turbines a year. Tata Steel estimates that this would require 6 million tonnes of steel between now and 2045. And that very energy that would be produced through floating offshore wind could then help to produce the green steel that Tata plans to make in its future electric arc furnaces that will be replacing the current blast furnace technology, at a lower cost per unit than the sky-high electricity prices that are currently holding our steel industry back. So the driving purpose of the Celtic Freeport Bid is to be a force multiplier, catalysing our green economy through floating offshore wind, building our energy security, and strengthening our ability to stand on our own 2 feet by making, buying and selling more in Britain. Mr. Vickers, the Celtic Freeport offers one of the biggest opportunities of its type for Wales, and that's why I and many honourable members are backing the bid. Our cross-party support from members in this place runs broad and deep, from my fellow lead on the campaign, and I pay tribute to the member for Preseli Pembrokeshire, all the way through to honourable members, including from Plaid Cymru. And we also have support from a large number of businesses, ranging from Tata Steel to Sandy Hook, from Lanzatech to SSE Renewables. They can see that the potential for the Celtic Freeport Bid will be as a platform for floating offshore wind, thus putting Wales at the forefront of the green industrial revolution. They understand that the Celtic Freeport is a multi-port solution that builds on the strengths of two of the UK's leading ports, Port Talbot and Milford Haven, to create a green investment corridor. Combined with the supporting infrastructure, heavy engineering, industrial clusters and skills base along the M4 corridor, as well as the immense connectivity that we have along that M4 corridor, our bid has what it takes to be a genuine game changer for our economy, for our security, and for the battle against climate change. So the prize is clear: the creation of a new long-term industry where the high-value manufacturing has "made in Wales" firmly embossed on the tin. Our ports are playing their part too. Associated British Ports and the Port of Milford Haven have committed to invest £710 million in their green-focused energy ports, while the first phase of construction at Pembroke Dock is already underway, as I'm sure the Honourable Member for Pembrokeshire will be illustrating in his remarks in a minute. This port infrastructure will act as a launch pad to help leverage a further £700 million of investment in factories to build these massive renewable substructures and indeed the turbines. The decision, the selection of the Celtic Freeport is the next vital step to secure this industry for Wales. And it will provide a signal to global markets that will be needed if we want to lever in the high-impact private sector investment that we need to take us forward. So I'll continue to make the case, and I hope that local businesses and residents across the entire Celtic Freeport area and beyond will join with me in making this case, because at the stroke of a pen, British and Welsh ministers can unlock this new industry and repurpose our strengths for a green future. So I do hope that the UK and Welsh governments will seize this opportunity. Wales was at the forefront of the first industrial revolution. Now, with the right investment, the right commitment, the right decisions, we can put ourselves at the forefront of the net zero revolution. Thank you.
Stephen Crabb.